Hello, Quincy. My name's Eileen Fontenot. I'm one of the Thomas Crane librarians, and I'm here today with John Rogers, a senior energy analyst at the Union of Concerned Scientists. He will be at the main library starting at 7 p.m. Tuesday, September 24th, to talk about climate change, clean energy, and jobs, and how offshore wind power fits in with all of this. Welcome, John.
Thanks, Eileen.
All right. So tell me a little bit about what you do with the Union of Concerned Scientists.
Sure. So as a senior energy analyst, some of my job is on the analysis side. A lot of my job is just talking to the public and media and others about clean energy and about what's going on, what people might get excited about, what the issues are. And then part of my job is advocacy. So trying to make sure that the policies are aligned with the policies that we're passing at the local or the state or the federal level are aligned with what we need to get clean energy moving.
And you focus primarily on Massachusetts, or?
Massachusetts is a piece of it. Other work is regional or national.
Oh, wow. Okay. And so you're going to be talking about the policies and other aspects of wind power and what's happening offshore at Martha's Vineyard, things like that. Can you tell me a little bit about how that's been going up to now?
Sure. So offshore wind is a really exciting technology. I'm a mechanical engineer, so it's particularly exciting for me. Lots of moving parts. And what's happened over the last well, we've been talking about offshore wind for the last almost 2 decades in this neck of the country, and now it's happening. Lots of stuff in the works. The first offshore wind turbines, a small collection went in off Rhode Island, off Block Island, a couple of years ago. There's a lot more coming, and so part of what we try to do is help people understand where offshore wind fits in, why they might want to get excited about this technology, and how we move it along.
Yeah. So why would they want to be excited about it? I mean, clean energy is important, I feel, so.
Sure, and there are, I should say, I work on a range of clean energy technologies, so it might be solar, it might be wind on land, it might be hydro power or geothermal or others. What's exciting about offshore wind for a state like Massachusetts and a region like New England is the real power there. So New England, and particularly Massachusetts, has some of the best offshore wind resource, so the best winds for this kind of technology, in not just in the country but in the world. And if you look at the geography of off our shores, our outer continental shelf, so the seabed, is pretty flat out a long way, and that makes it easier to build these types of projects, even as far as so they're talking about not particularly near Cape Cod or the islands, but a little ways south, and so a lot of potential there.
And how does that affect possibly life in Massachusetts and the area to come?
So I'm excited about the potential for clean energy and the amount of the electrons, the kilowatt hours that we may soon be producing from this technology. But another thing I'm really excited about is the jobs and the economic development potential for an area like southeastern Massachusetts, like the South Shore, that has a lot of experience working in the marine environment, that knows ships, that knows how to get stuff done off our shores. There's a lot of potential there when you think about what it's going to take to not just build the equipment in the first place, but start doing the stuff that we can do here in Massachusetts initially, so pieces of that, but then all the staging and then getting it out to sea and then planting it in the seabed and connecting it all, wiring it all up and bringing it back to land. There are a lot of jobs in the construction and the operation and the maintenance. You're talking shipping, you're talking pipe fitters and electricians, welders, all this. So that's, I think, what's got a lot of people excited about this technology.
That sounds like a lot of, thousands of people in the area who could potentially get jobs from this.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, even what we're seeing now are individual projects, but pretty soon what we'll have is an industry here. And if we send the right signals to the offshore wind industry, then we're going to be seeing not just the construction and operation and maintenance jobs, but a lot more of the actual manufacturing, different components, and eventually a lot more of those components right here in New England, right here potentially in Massachusetts.
Yeah. And I believe you were telling me earlier that there are not many other turbine projects in the Americas, so we could possibly be a leader in spreading it around.
That's right.
Is that
And
right?
so I'm really excited about the power of these technologies. If you look at a single turbine like the kind that are off of Block Island, Rhode Island, has the power to can power maybe 2,000, 2,500 homes, or provide enough electricity for that many homes in this area. But they're talking about turbines that are much bigger than that, and that's what the next projects will be using. So that's one piece of it. But the policy is also really exciting, the policies that are coming into place from the state level. So what we had was Massachusetts passing a law 3 years ago, and then New York coming along with a higher target, and then New Jersey with a higher one, then Massachusetts doubling down, then New York coming in with even bigger, and then you got other. So what we're seeing is this competition up and down the eastern seaboard for not just the turbines, not just the projects, but those jobs.
Wow, so that sounds like a real great promise for the future. So what are the next steps that you're seeing for this project?
So we're seeing projects making their way through the permitting process. There've been a little bit of a hiccup with what was planned to be the first large-scale wind project, which would be off of Massachusetts. So a few weeks ago, the federal government decided to slow things down a little bit. We're not sure what that means, but there are a lot of other projects. And again, it's Massachusetts, it's Rhode Island, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, Maryland, Virginia may be the first one to actually get just a couple of wind turbines, but off in federal waters off their shores. So probably next year. So again, we're going to see this competition to get out there, to do it right, but to do it quickly and do it at a real scale.
And are there any drawbacks to what's happening here with wind power? Or?
So we don't have a whole lot of experience in the U.S. waters. Again, we have this one project off of Rhode Island. Europe has been doing this for 28 years now. So they have a lot of experience of what it means to put something like this in the water, what it means from a cost and economics perspective, what it means in terms of maintenance, but also what it means in terms of the environment. So how does it interact with what's already there? How does it interact with fishing industry? Obviously, we use our oceans for a lot of different things, and so some of those things we can figure out or have a good guess about ahead of time. Other things we're going to know once we build the first 1 or 2 or 3 of these projects, and we will adjust as we go.
Right. I assume you're in communication with other European companies and things like that.
So there are a lot of European companies that are involved here because they are the ones they're the ones bringing the expertise and the capital, the know-how, and some of the early components till we can get a big enough scale to actually manufacture them here. So if you think about, there are the bases that go in the water, there are the tower pieces, there's the turbine that sits on top, which is made of the sort of the brains and then the blades, and so all these different pieces and all the cabling that goes with that and all the other components.
Yeah. So tell me how it affects like climate in the big picture, both the energy and here and the worldwide.
So this is this is a technology. Offshore wind is a technology that produces electricity with essentially no emissions of carbon dioxide or other heat trapping gases, and that's what's so exciting. If you think about an area like New England, like Massachusetts, we do have solar, and we're doing a lot with solar. We have access to land-based wind farms throughout the region. We have hydropower, we have other technologies, but offshore wind is a whole nother ballgame. I mean, in terms of the scale, the potential, again, from the perspective of the power and the electricity and the economic development.
Well, that all sounds very promising and exciting, and I hope it works out for us. And anything you'd like to add before I sign off?
No, I think I want people to realize that if they're coming at this from the perspective of climate change, which certainly should be part of the picture, climate change is serious, but we have serious responses. And offshore wind, as we bring that technology to scale, that's going to be a really important extra arrow in our quiver for addressing climate and carbon pollution.
Yeah. So John, tell me about the significance of this program happening during Climate Preparedness Week and what that's all about.
Sure. The week of September 23rd will be not just Climate Preparedness Week here in Massachusetts, where communities are going to be talking about a lot of these issues, but also Climate Week in New York City at the United Nations. A lot of activities going on, and so this event is going to be part of that. What we hope will be a drumbeat of about not just the science but also the solutions, and that's both in terms of avoiding the worst impacts of climate change and preparing for the impacts that we know are going to be coming. So really glad that I'll be with you all here at the library on that Tuesday to talk about this really exciting technology.
Oh, great. So in addition to the library, the Quincy Climate Action Network, QCAN, will be co-sponsoring this presentation by Mr. Rogers. And that presentation will be at 7 o'clock, Tuesday, September 24th. And we hope to see you all there.